Deep in the jungles of the Philippines, hidden beyond cliffs and dense rainforest, lives a community that has preserved an ancient way of life. Welcome to the world of the Taaw't Bato, one of Earth's most isolated tribal peoples. For generations, these caves have been more than shelter. They are homes, schools, and places where traditions have survived long after much of the world embraced modern technology. Reaching the Taaw't Bato is no easy journey. Visitors must cross rivers, climb steep cliffs, and trek through thick rainforest before the hidden caves finally appear.
The Taaw't Bato depend almost entirely on nature. Bamboo, rattan, palm leaves, and stone provide everything they need to survive. Unlike modern homes built with concrete and steel, every sunrise begins with a mission. Before breakfast is even prepared, hunters disappear into the forest, searching for wild pigs, monkeys, birds, and other animals that feed their families. The rainforest is breathtaking, but every step carries danger. Venomous snakes, giant pythons, poisonous insects, and hidden cliffs constantly test their survival skills.
Water is life here. Crystal clear streams flowing through the mountains provide drinking water, bathing places, and fresh fish. Every drop comes directly from the untouched rainforest. Children here grow up differently. Instead of classrooms and smartphones, their teachers are parents, grandparents, and the rainforest itself. When the rainy season arrives, these giant limestone caves become natural fortresses, protecting families from relentless storms that can last for days. Food is never guaranteed. Some hunting trips end in success, while others return empty-handed. Every meal depends on patience, teamwork, and generations of survival knowledge.
The Taaw't Bato know hundreds of medicinal plants. Nature itself became their pharmacy. As night falls, the rainforest transforms. Strange calls echo through the darkness. Unseen creatures awaken. Every sound reminds. For the Taaw't Bato, this forest is sacred. Every river and ancient tree is treated with deep respect. Harming nature threatens the future of the community. Many young people now face a difficult choice. Remain with their ancestors' traditions, or leave in search of a completely different future.
As night falls, one life-changing decision begins to take shape. The Taaw't Bato must choose between the modern world and the mountains they have always called home.
The mountains are our home, but the world is changing.
At sunrise, the quiet mountain landscape begins to awaken. Families of Filipino tribe prepare for another day, gathering simple tools before following narrow forest paths that have guided their ancestors for generations. The families gather their tools and provisions, emerging from the shelter of the cave to follow the ancient forest paths once more. For generations, these caves have offered shelter from heavy rains, tropical heat, and the changing seasons. Surrounded by cliffs and dense forests, the Taaw't Bato developed a way of life that remains closely connected to the rhythms of the natural world. The Taaw't Bato move with the rhythms of the forest, finding shelter and sustenance within these ancient caves. As night falls, one life-changing decision begins to take shape. The Taaw't Bato must choose between the modern world and the mountains they have always called home.
The mountains are our home, but the world is changing.
Hidden deep within the rugged limestone mountains of southern Palawan, the Philippines, lives a community few travelers ever encounter. The Thorjala Nap Acoms, the Taaw't Bato people have called travelers Breaker Kingsolm. For generations, the Taaw't Bato people have called natural caves their home, adapting to a landscape where towering cliffs, dense rainforest, and winding rivers shape every part of daily life. For more than 20 years, explorer Remy crossed some of the world's most remote wildernesses, yet one journey would lead him to an indigenous community unlike any he had ever encountered. Gears packed, let's move. Over the jungles of Palawan now. Target is Palawan, Philippines. Finally here, the real adventure begins. The busy town of Ransang stands at the edge of southern Palawan. For most visitors, it is just another village. But for the Taaw't Bato, it is the gateway between two completely different worlds. Hidden deep within those mountains lives one of the Philippines' most isolated indigenous communities. For generations, the Taaw't Bato survived inside natural caves surrounded by dense rainforest.
On market day, the Filipino tribe descends from the mountains. Barefoot and carrying handmade tools, they quietly enter a world that feels completely unfamiliar. Despite the attention around them, the Taaw't Bato remain calm. Years of tradition have taught them patience, humility, and quiet confidence. Every step through the market reveals something new. Bright colors, unfamiliar goods, and endless choices create a striking contrast to life inside the rainforest.
Although admired for their traditions, the Taaw't Bato often face misunderstanding from people who know little about their culture. Before roads reached these mountains, before cities transformed the landscape, a remarkable community built its limestone hidden deep in the rainforests of southern Palawan. The Taaw't Bato continue to preserve traditions.
Simple objects that city residents overlook become fascinating discoveries for people whose lives have always depended on nature, like Filipino tribe. The market is more than a place to trade. It is where two completely different ways of life briefly meet.
The Taaw't Bato protect traditions passed through generations. Every skill is a connection to their ancestors. But even here, change is impossible to ignore. Roads, tourism, and modern technology are slowly reaching places that remained untouched for centuries. Scientists visit the Taaw't Bato, not because they are frozen in time, but because they offer a rare window into humanity's relationship with nature. Their greatest lesson isn't about living in caves, it's about resilience, community, and finding balance with the environment that sustains every generation.
As the modern world expands, the future of the Taaw't Bato depends on protecting their culture and the rainforest they call home. Losing either would mean losing an irreplaceable part of history.
The Taaw't Bato remind us that progress isn't measured only by technology, but by what we choose to preserve. Would you spend just 1 week living in their world? Tell us your answer in the comments.